I'm gonna do this in one take. I'm gonna do this in one take, and I'm not gonna put any edits on it. That Iryna Zaruska video was one of the most brutal things I've ever seen in my life. I mean, a lot of people know me. It's very rare for me to be at a loss for words. I wish I was at a loss for words more often, but this was one of those scenarios where I couldn't believe what I saw. It's one of those things that once you see it, you can't be the same again. It sort of changes your life in a sense. It changes the way you think, and it challenges you on the way you react to issues. So it's been a challenge for me the last couple of days how to respond. I mean, not that people are sitting there waiting for my response. There's a lot of much smarter people that have responded to this, but I feel like at least in my community, there was a responsibility, of responding to these kind of things, giving our thoughts, giving our opinions. And so I've thought about it. And initially I was so angry and I was so grieved. And so when you're angry because of this lack of humanity you see, the only way you want to respond with it is with like an extra dose of inhumanity. And so that's what's been kind of challenging me in my mind. And if you're not challenged by this, if you saw this happen or you've seen your friends post it and it's something that you've kind of been indifferent about, like, oh, next, I would question something about your humanity. Like there's it's one thing to say like I'm not into politics. You say like I'm not a person who's into politics, and so like I don't focus on all that stuff. That's one thing, but it's another thing to just completely ignore some giant cultural thing that's happened. And I think this was the case with George Floyd, right? Like when the George Floyd thing happened, everyone was talking about it. I mean, people disagreed on what stance they took, but it's not like people were just indifferent to what had happened. But it's so interesting that with this Iryna situation, it took like multiple days. It took the president of the United States to come out and like hold pictures of this girl and the perpetrator. I won't even name him. It took the president to hold that up for like one news agency to be like, there seemed to be a struggle on a train yesterday. But I mean, guys, if you think about it, this girl and her family, they're from Ukraine, war torn, whatever, Kiev, right? They come to America probably hoping for a better life. I mean, anything is better than a war zone. I mean, that's probably what they thought. But little did they probably know that some of America's most dangerous cities are basically war zones. So this girl probably goes to work, gets off work. She looks like she's wearing some kind of uniform, right? She gets on the train, walks in with her phone in hand. What most of us do. A lot of us aren't even aware of our surroundings. Like, who knows? That guy could have been standing there with like a gun facing her. But we're all in our own worlds when we're going places, when we're walking the streets, when we're entering rooms. So this girl just comes, sits there normally, train ride, go home, whatever, go on Instagram, eat something, go to sleep, right? And this guy behind her, and a lot of us think from the video that like the moment she sat, this guy took out a knife and just started, striking her, stabbing her. But no, this guy, according to the video evidence, for 4 minutes, guys, for 4 minutes, this guy sits there, thinks about it, contemplates it, premeditates it, and then decides to do the most evil and senseless thing that I've seen in a long time. And I'm a millennial, kind of raised in the internet age, so I've seen some crazy stuff, sometimes voluntarily, sometimes involuntarily. And this is one of the most brutal things I've ever seen. And the moment she gets stabbed, the way she kind of looks up at him, I mean, I feel like that's a photo that's going to be there for the history books. The way she kind of looks at him as if to say, like, why? Why me? And then, like, her adrenaline is rushing so much. She probably doesn't even know she's gotten stabbed. And whatever, a few seconds later, she falls, she collapses, blood rushing out. He's walking away. He's dripping blood. And he literally looks at some of the people there in the train and goes, I just killed that white girl. I just killed that white girl. Now, for the sake of argument, forget anything about anything, okay? And just imagine this scenario reversed, where a black lady walks into a train in a predominantly white neighborhood. Some white guy takes out a shank and starts stabbing her in the throat, and then walks to a few more white people and goes like, I just stabbed that black girl to death, or I just killed that black girl. Like, this is going to be all over the media, okay? Like, this is like Instagram square worthy times a million if something like that happened, right? But for some reason, what happened to this poor girl has taken, like, I mean, most people have been hush about it. I don't see politicians going on their knees. I don't see people crying. I don't see riots on the street. It's sort of just been like, hey, if we don't talk about it, it'll go away. And there's a lot of factors in this. The guy was arrested 14 times. He was let go. The justice system clearly failed this girl. There's multiple times where this guy could have been kept in jail, where this guy shouldn't have been released, but he was. And I'm sure all those things will come to light, And clearly this guy was mentally ill. No one is here debating that, hey, this guy was just like some 100% his motivation was racism and he just saw this white. Like, clearly there was other things wrong with him. But it just makes you wonder, when we live in an age where sort of this media narrative has been put out there where anything a white person does to a minority, like if a white person breathes and walks past a minority, that's some kind of racism. Like you're supposed to hold your breath when you walk past a minority white person. And the media feeding all this stuff over the years, racism, racist this, right wing racism, blah 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 blah. It makes you wonder if for someone who's actually mentally ill and is going through stuff like that, is that kind of media narrative, is that potentially feeding into how they view their neighbor? In this case, some random, helpless, small little girl that sits on a train without any provocation and gets pummeled. So, over the next few days, I will have some more to say about this. These are just my initial thoughts. And I wonder if some of you feel this way. I wonder if this has kind of stirred your heart or angered you the way it's angered me. But as the conversation moves forward about this, I have some stuff I want to say, but I want to just cool off before I do. But these were just my initial thoughts. Anyways, God bless you all.